Okay, Catchweight interview. We're doing something a little bit different today. There's a big fight going on in the WXC. This is going to be for the welterweight belt. It's going to be September 25th, if I'm not mistaken, right? September 25th is the date. This is the date we're looking at.
Yes,
September
sir.
25th
Yes, sir.
is the date we're looking at. And Anthony Ivy stepping up to the plate. Now, historically, I don't know how much you know about Willis. I know this has been a relatively short, short notice. But Willis has had a very, very difficult time trying to find people who are willing to come in. A lot of people will sign contracts, back out. So this is great news. Having gone back into look into your background a little bit on YouTube, I've seen a couple of your fights with Fury FC in Texas. You're the real deal. Willis is the real deal. This is the fight to be made. You know, before we had a little bit of a thing, you know, where we were calling out certain people. We wanted to see, you know, possibly Bobby Nash or Evan Cutts or all these people, but they all seem to bow out, and you seem to be the guy that stepped up to the plate. So first and foremost, I know this is relatively short notice, but have you heard about Willis at all up until this point?
No, I haven't recently heard about him in anything, boss. But as soon as I got it with the first round management, they informed me about it. Like, hey, we got this fight coming up. I was actually on my honeymoon with my wife that I kind of backed off for like years, dude. It's been years, and we was on the boat trip. So I think they sent it to me, and then I think a day later I finally received it because we was out there going towards Mexico. But as soon as they sent it, I did a little research on them and everything, and then from there, man, we decided to take the fight. No, it's short notice, but this is why we're professionals, boss. We do the best as we can, you know.
I love it, and one of the reasons why I want to help promote this fight is because this is I now believe I'm on board with this fight. I'm on the choo choo train for this one, right? So
yeah.
So as far as this goes, and I wanted to bring that up. So you hadn't heard about Willis up until this point and up until the last couple months. You know, you're about to find out as far as that goes. Both of you about each other. I don't know, Willis, if you'd heard about Anthony up until this point, but Anthony's got a very storied. Your records are identical. You almost have all finishes, and to first round's credit, right? You pick another.
Yes.
You pick another guy that's out there, you know, doing a lot of finishes. We're not doing a lot of decisions out here, and that's even one of Willis's slogans: no decisions. So, I wanted to ask to see if you even knew the promoter didn't want to give Willis that fight in Texas for Fury FC. And this is even to your credit as a fighter, right? So you're like, no, I want that fight. So you go over the WXC. You sign the first round, you get the matchup you want, and it's even more strange to see that two guys under the same company are going to be fighting each other in a promotion that you really haven't heard either of the promotions about. So can you give me any background as to what's going on there?
Yeah, man, I can't give you too much information about that because I'm just, like I said, I just barely signed up with everything here. Everything that's going on right now is very, very, very short notice, man. It's exciting, but then all crazy at the same time, man. I have to wrap around, figure out how to do this, figure out how to do that. Like I said before, I didn't even know XPO, I'm sorry. I didn't know WXC even existed until they told me about the fight. So
yeah, you're over out there in Texas, so I don't know.
Yeah,
imagine,
exactly.
I don't imagine. There are some guys that I know that I talked to at a regional level that know about Willis. So this is even it even adds a little bit more of a dimension to the fight because you're not going to this fight with like, okay, I need to stick with this game plan and this is how I'm going to defeat Willis, and you don't have that little bit of it seems like a lot of guys that are preparing for Willis have like a little bit of fear. Both of you seem to have no fear of each other, so this is going to be a very interesting fight. So then I want to ask Willis, and watching Anthony fight, Mr. Ivy fight, he seems to bring a grappling pedigree to the table. I wanted to ask, what are you doing in preparation for something like this? I know it's short notice. I know there's you had a little bit of a juggle of opponents. But I think this is going to be one of the best matchups on paper for you for your career. One of the big questions people are going to ask you is, what does Willis look like against an effective grappler? You know what I mean? So what are you doing in preparation? This guy's got a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
All right. So first of all, congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, I think he's a better striker. I think that I'll probably beat him on the ground pretty easily, to be honest. So. Okay. I mean, the game plan for me, try and take the fight wherever I can. But, I mean, honestly, I'm not too worried about his grappling in general.
Okay. Well, it's interesting to note that of Anthony's 7 wins, 3 of them have been by submission. So, It's out there. That skill's out there. So it's going to be it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. And it's funny that you say you think he's a better striker because, I would say a lot of your finishes come from striking. Now you have a couple unorthodox submissions, I would say, with the standing guillotine and then the guillotine off your back. So I put the question back onto you, Anthony. What are you bringing to the table? Because this gentleman is something. He's bringing something to the table on top of very, very good athleticism. He brings a very cerebral technical striking aspect there. He works out down there in Miami with Henry Hooft. What are you doing to overcome this type of a striking pedigree?
Man, we do. So let's go back to just beating fighters, boss. This is what we do. In the welterweight division, boss, there's athleticism, there's speed, there's explosion, there's strength, there's height, there's all that in the welterweight division, man. This is what we prepared for years. Ever since I decided to go into the welterweight, because I'm coming from a lightweight background, but I decided to go to welterweight because of the weight cut was a little too much, man. I was cutting 35, 40 pounds just to get down to 55. Now it's just about 35, maybe 30 pounds just to get down there. So the striking game, the jiu-jitsu game, the wrestling, everything we work on just to improve. So what I'm bringing to the table is everything. It's not just the striking. It's not just the wrestling. It's not jiu-jitsu. It's everything. This is what we do. We're all professionals. We bring everything to the table. We're not shy of nothing at all, man. We train for this shit.
Yeah.
Every single day. So yeah. I am a champion. I am a 3-time champion. You know what I'm saying? I defended my belt twice, and I won against a very high level striker that's from Brazil, very first Brazilian champion with over 50 plus fights, and did everything I was supposed to do with him as well. So and Willis is aware of that too. I talked to him a little bit about that too. He's like, this is one of the fights that I want to take. This is a tough fight. You've only had tough fights. You've only had championship level fights. So that to you, Pedigree. I want to that's amazing. That's amazing. And also I wanted to note, I guess for Willis, like his style, just from what I'm looking at, it's very he sets the pace. People want to drag him in to these brawls. It seems like people want to drag him into these brawls because they know he can strike, right? So Anthony, in the fights that I've seen 3 fights. Your most recent one, the championship you had for, I think it was 33. Fury FC 33. Yes, 38. No, 30. It was 30. No, 33. Sorry, I apologize. 33.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You have so many. You have so many.
Exactly. I've been fighting for Fury for a while now.
Right. So usually the type of opponent that Willis fights, they want to go out there and try to put him out early because they know he's going to come out swinging, right? Swinging for the fences, right?
And that's their mistakes,
right?
That's their mistakes.
He finds and people have kind of tried to goat him into just trying to be this non-cerebral type brawler, but if you really break down the way Willis finishes people, it's very technical and it's very well thought out. What you bring, you set the pace very slow that I notice, and you grind people. And I don't think Willis hasn't been in a lot of fights where he has grinded, except for earlier in his career. As of recently, he's been knocking people dead in the first round, second round, or so be it. What's the type of game plan that you bring to try to weather a storm like Willis, who's going to go out there and go for that finish, just like yourself?
Like you said, man, just weather the storm, dude. There's flaws to everybody's game. There's flaws to my games, flaws to Willis' games, flaws to every welterweight in the goddamn division. Man, he's like I said before, boss. I can go back to it. He's a professional, right. So I can go there and have a game plan. Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go straight off and throw 3 jabs at him, and I'm gonna put him out from right there. But then next, he's sitting there grappling, or he's wrestling and doing everything else like that. So it's not much of a game plan. We're just gonna fill it out and see what we can do from there.
You're gonna try to do what you do best as far as goes, and I'm assuming Willis will do the same thing. Willis, I wanted to ask you. And you haven't lost recently, but I've looked over your record. You seem to have most of your losses. It seems to be people over 6 foot. I think Anthony Ivy's 6'2". 6'2". Knowing that he has that range, knowing that those losses that you've had before have been with bigger opponents. What does that do for your game plan? What do you bring to the table as far as like trying to weather a bigger guy?
Nothing. I mean, the guys that I lost to, ironically was taller than me, right. But really they just were really tough opponents, Right. I lost. They were short and they had the same skill set and they knew how to use it. Same thing, take a loss. But in this instant, it's no real game plan for his reach. I mean, I think we probably about the same length. He might be a little longer. No big deal for me.
Right. No, I mean he's a tall, rangy guy. He looks like he knows how to use his range a little bit on anybody, his size, lower size. So it's going to be an interesting fight on paper. This is the classic. I don't want to say grappler versus striker because obviously you bring a very good skill set of striking as well. Willis has even acknowledged it as well too. So bringing this to the WXC, and this is going to be your first fight in the WXC. What's that going to be like going into another promotion, fighting another promoter's champion?
The very first time I'm doing this is what makes it so exciting, man, because it's a different champion, different promotion. I'm actually flying to Detroit to go down there and face them. So fighting in somebody's different hometown, I'm adapt to that, boss. That's nothing new to me. My whole entire career, I've been the underdog and everything else. As far as that, people try to beat me and everything else in their hometown. My last opponent was that dude was. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same thing as Willis, same boat. That guy was 6'4". You know what I'm saying? Right. He had to cut 30, 35 pounds just to fight me. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting, especially fighting in Detroit. So,
Willis, I want to ask you, someone coming out from Texas, coming from Fury FC, who's a champion himself. What does this feel like? Someone coming into your hometown to fight you on this big of a stage, for your championship belt. It seems like everyone else is dodging you. It seems like one person's willing to step up and take it. He's under your representation company. What does this feel like for you?
I mean, it feels the same as my last few fights. I had somebody come from the UK, and my last few opponents just been from out of town. I can't have any, can't find any opponent in Michigan. So, I mean, he's a champion, and please don't cut yourself short. You're not no underdog in this. I think it's a pretty even bout. Like I said, I'm excited. We 12 days out, no decisions. Somebody's got to get put down. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's me or him, I just want to fucking throw hands. We're going to get to the ground, get gritty down there. Let's do it. That's my game plan. That's
gritty. Your game plan, get gritty? I love it. I love it. Hey, listen, it looks like you're both ready to bring it to the table. And then also I wanted to bring up with Willis. Willis has gone through lots of different adversity just through in his life and then also just inside the cage. Or preparing for the cage. He's coming off of, not now, but previously he's come off injury, came back off that injury, ended up getting the finish. Going against an opponent like that is very difficult, right? So this is not somebody who's not gonna tap out. You're gonna have to take it from him, right? You're gonna have to take it from him. So this is gonna be a very difficult fight for both of you as well. I would say if I'm gonna give a little bit more of an edge to somebody, I would give a little bit of the edge to Willis because it's gonna be in his hometown and you guys don't know each other. You have no back. This is happening very fast. So what's it like coming from that type of or coming up? I know Willis, you don't want to say he's an underdog, but on paper he does kind of feel like the underdog, right? Because he is coming from a different promotion. He's coming from out of state. We're talking
about a guy who's fought in Bellator, fought RFA before it became LFA, LFA once it became LFA. I'm not calling him any type of underdog. Okay. On paper it's equal.
Right.
He got 3 submissions. 4 TKOs, right? I got 3 submissions, 4 knockouts, but same difference, TKO, knockout, right?
Right.
We in the same boat, champion versus champion. This might be his first time hearing about me, but I was informed, a while back that we were trying to get a fight with Fury FC,
really,
and to go for the title, and he was the champion,
right?
And the promoter was like, well, I would like him to come and do a fight before he just comes and fight for the belt, because a lot of guys, fight for the belt and then not come and defend it, right? So that ended up falling through just off of that basic idea, and now, shortly after, here we are at WXC, he's coming to fight for my title, and so it's like it's happening. It's just 2 different playing fields. One would have been on his home turf, and this would have been, and this one just happened to be my home turf.
Right.
But like I said, I take nothing away from the guy. I think that it's a pretty even fight on paper, and skill wise, we both pretty well-rounded fighters. He's not worried about me. I'm not worried about him. We both just want to go in there and have fun. Another thing, I noticed, I respect. He came. When he got on camera, he got his baby girl with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
family men. Yeah. You guys are family men.
Always.
Like this fight for me, You know, it's just, well, how do I say, like, I'm really excited about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, I feel like, is the test taker. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the fight that tells all. You know what I'm saying? Like, for him and for me. You know, whoever comes out on top is like, both of us have the same record. At the end of the fight, one of our records is about to change. You know?
Right. No, I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal.
For the better and for the worse. I mean, I think, you know, this right here is going to be the type of fight that puts us both in line for like a UFC shot. So,
I believe so too. I
think that's what makes it most exciting for me. Same pedigree, same credentials, same, not only the same record, but all finishes, all the same finishes. Like, you can't like write this storyline out. Like,
you know, this almost feels like a Dana White Contender Series like invitation. You know what I mean? As far as it goes, this is how they put these types of things together. So this is like an audition before the audition, in my opinion, right? So
exactly.
This, you know, this is how you do it, and this is like, you know, the true heart of warrior. It kind of sucks for me knowing both of you. Because obviously, Mr. Ivey, I don't know you that well, but you know, you're a family man. You're very nice. You know, you've been very respectful during the interview. You know, you're giving him compliments. He's giving you compliments. You kind of want to draw. You kind of want no one to lose, right? Well, I mean, you guys you don't want to draw.
I wish sometimes I wish the game was like that. The fight game was like that. You know, I wish there was a draw and still get paid the same amount of money and everything, boss. But hey, this is what. I mean, Willis, like you said, man, in your past interviews and everything, you gotta work for it, man. We both got to get it. We got to get the W, whether it's a win or loss.
Willis, go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is no reason to feel bad. It's like he said, we both professionals.
Right.
At the end of the day, whether I lose or learn, I mean, win or learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going in there for a war. I know exactly what I'm signing up for. I know exactly what I've been working hard and preparing for. So, you know, at the end of the day, if I win or lose, I'm gonna live with those results, you know, no matter what. So, I mean, I really don't mind. I'm not going in there to win. I am going in there to fucking throw hands, get down, have fun, and learn.
Yeah,
it's games, no matter what. No matter how it goes, it's games.
Right.
So. I'm moving forward.
Although it does kind of add a little bit more of a layer of it being scary, because you're like, yeah, no, he's a great guy. We're gonna kill each other, but that, like, it's
but that's being a
that's a game. That's professional. When you get two professionals inside the cage, Willis has said it a dozen times. I'm sure you said it a dozen times in your career. When the cage locks, it's on, right? So it doesn't matter who's inside there. So, you know, that's phenomenal. I'm very excited for this fight, and this is going to be September 25th, correct? In the WXC promotion for the welterweight belt.
Both days, yeah.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent. So, I know Willis does a lot of work in his spare time, you know, helping out his community and different stuff like that. You know, he's one of those guys. He's like a Tyron Woodley in the way that he represents, you know, Michigan. Like he represents Michigan. He represents Michigan. You know, he's one of the top ranked guys in Michigan. He wants to fight other people in Michigan to get that name out there. As far as you being from Texas, do you represent Texas as your place? Like, is it like as your place? What do you do for your community out there as well too?
Yeah, same thing, man. Everybody's here that fights out of Texas represents Texas. I've come out of San Antonio. We have multiple fighters coming from out of San Antonio to the UFC recently. I've been repping San Antonio for a long time. Actually, it's really hard. It's really hard here in Texas to be known for a fighter because we live right next to Houston. Houston is
Football.
is the city of all the fighters, right? So here I am coming out of San Antonio trying to get my name out there, and this is where I fought a bunch of Houston fighters just to get my name out there. My very first my RFA debut where I had the 30-second knockout, the dude when I walked out, in my hometown, everybody was booing me. Every single person was booing me. Yeah, I swear to God, dude, the boos was louder than the yays for my opponent.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, man. That thing it kind of like struck me. You know, it was just like, you know, it's heartbreitting when you walk out there and it's like, dog, I'm here trying to represent y'all, but this is what, you know, I grind for this shit every single day. Y'all sitting there booing me, you know.
Right.
All right, it's all cool, it's all good. And then it went from the boos, and then we fought. 30 seconds later, dropped him on his ass, finished him. He got up, and then next you know, everybody was, oh shit, like, oh yeah. It's like, see, that's the idea, man. You know, just little things about me, man. You know, I work for this security company for Haven for Hope. It's a little homeless shelter down here in San Antonio. I've been working there for about a year. I just recently got ranked. I'm ranked corporal now. I work about 10 hours a day working there, and then I put about 4 or 5 hours of training in as soon as that, and then whatever little time I have for my little baby. Like today's my family day. It's like I rest, chill with my family, chill with my wife. Everything is possible. So, I'm grinding every day until I can't do it no more. So
I feel it. Hey, listen, Willis is on that same grind too. We talk about it all the time. Willis, what do you do? Like 8 hours a day? You work out about 8 hours a day. You're coming off a camp over here in Miami.
Yeah, about 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day, and you're training over here with Henry Hooft as well too, right?
Yeah. Gregory Chopin, Muay Thai, world champion, kickboxer.
He's bringing a lot of weapons to the table, and he's sharpening his skills. He's getting better He's one of those fighters that gets better every single fight. Now, Anthony, I'm not going to say that's not the same for you. Obviously, if you're this successful, you have to be getting better every single fight, right? So
exactly.
And you're fighting at a high level. You're fighting other champions for the most part. So this is gonna be one of the fights of the year. If you have Fight Pass, if you're out there, and this is what you want to see. If you're like, well, what am I going to watch on Fight Pass? What does Fight Pass have to offer me? This damn fight! This fight on September 25th. This fight is going to be a showcase of athleticism. It's going to be a showcase of talent. It's going to be a showcase of skill. And most importantly, it's going to be done by two professionals out there, two of the best professionals. I think they have you ranked at number 4 in the state at welterweight. I'm sorry, Anthony. And then Willis, they have you ranked at number 5 in Michigan. This is going to be top 10 guys going at it on the biggest stage that you can ask for in your career so far up until this point. This is great. Can't make a better fight than this. Okay. All right. I mean, I think we wanted to keep it a little bit towards 23, 24 minutes. If you guys have anything to plug, any final words for your opponents, Willis, what are your final words for your opponent before you step out there?
Oh no, he go first.
He goes first. Listen,
I go first.
Listen, he goes. You go first because it's how it works. The champion gets in the WXC.
The initiative.
He gets the initiative.
Yeah. Let's see. If I was to say anything, boss. Good luck to you as always, man. Pray to God we both stay safe. We wake up from it because there are deaths in these fights and everything. Hope we both have fun. Go out there and do our best, man. And all glory to God to you and myself, man.
Thank you. My only thing is, man, let's come out there. Let's have fun. Let's fucking put on the war. Listen, no decisions, man. No decisions. Let's go out there and fucking throw hands and bang. And hey, if I die, at least I die in honor.
Nah, bro, we ain't doing all that.
Hey, listen, some people have that mentality, so he brings that to the table. That's something to note. Like, Willis has got that big old grin and smile on his face, but he means that shit. He means it. He doesn't want to go out like no sucker out here, right?
But just a note, man. I know you got time. You got to break away, but
I have plenty of time.
Bet. So this is something my one of my coaches that's been training with me since I was an amateur, right? So it just a thought and key and everything. So what makes a great king is the fact that he can go out there and conquer everything. It's possible, right? But when it's time to him to disperse or fall, he's not gonna fall dying. He's gonna fall, rehab it, and come back and conquer again. Until his time is to go. He's gonna die in bed, not on the battlefield, but in bed. That's always one king's wish. So that's something that I always took to heart as far as like how to be great. There's a lot more to it, but that's something that's always stayed with me.
Willis, how do you respond to that?
The battlefield is where I lay my bed.
Hey, listen. He's out here. He wants it. He wants that fight. He wants it more than anybody else. You want that fight more than anybody else. This is the reason why.
But this is the reason why I took the fight, man. This is it. Because and just from my experience, man, I don't go out there and try to. I don't go out there. I'm a very intelligent fighter, man. If I know I can hurt a person, it's gonna be there. But
I've noticed that too. Like even if you've had guys stung in the fights that I've seen. You're not overcommitting. I'm not gonna
go out there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go out there and blah 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 blah.
Right.
That to me is not it's not professional. You know, it's if you want to be professional, you want to be known, you're gonna hit somebody and then get an angle, hit him again, and get an angle, hit him again, let him know that you're there and put him on his ass. Not just sit there and, you know, like you have 1,000 knives and I'm gonna sit there. If I had a knife and I can stab you one time and get that kill point and you're dead, you're dead. But if I had a knife and I'm sitting there just rapidly stabbing you, next thing you stand back up and I'm 100th time stabbing you again and you get back up, that to me is just that's not professional. Professional is everybody will see. Everybody will see on the 25th. You know,
the styles are so different. The styles are so different because you know in that calculated approach where you do that, Willis brings a different calculation, but his calculation goes to finish you as fast as possible, right?
Everybody that fought has, and they fucking tried. You know, so
hey, Willis is gonna try too.
Yes, sir.
He's coming out there. Hey, and listen, Mr. Ivy's going to come out there too. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right, I think we'll wrap it up on that note. I love the words of wisdom right before we get out of here with the king and his bed. But I also like Willis's words. His bed's on the battlefield. You know what I mean? That's some true Viking shit right there. So so I love it. So before I go, I always even though this isn't going to be like our typical interview, you know, if you both have sponsors, if you both have people you would like to thank, shout out, you know, teammates, whatever you want to do, this is your time to do it. Willis, you know, since you're the champ, did you want to go first, or did you want to go last to give your sponsors and your shout outs?
I'll go last.
Okay.
All right. All right. So I want to, of course, give a shout out to Fight Back CBD. I want to give a shout out to owning me, Corey. He's the relator. I want to give a shout out to my wife, my family, and I also want to give a shout out to Brazilian Top Team Texas and the whole entire family for helping me get prepared for everyday war, you know. So those are the people I want to give a shout out to.
Willis?
I'd like to give a shout out to Amber, my wife, for all the support and help she's given me. My cousin Tony, my sponsors, BU Company, the Candy Lady, the original Candy Lady. And I'd like to thank my manager, Nico. Man, I can't do anything without this guy. He's always in my corner. I'm here at his crib right now trying to do my camp in Miami. So, you know, just always opening his home for me, supporting me, anything that I need. Here he is right here.
I know. I saw his elbow that whole time.
How you doing, bro?
Hey, Nico. Nico's one of the orchestrators of this. He had suggested this earlier for another fight, but then that fight fell through. And not for Willis, just for a different fighter. And then Nico got together with Jose. Jose is Anthony's manager. And they got together, and I was able to put it together on my laptop here in New Jersey, in the dirty Jersey, as we say. No one says it.
What happens is that, you know, I'm a student of the game, so I knew who Anthony Ivy was long before I was trying to make the fight between Anthony and Willis over in Fury FC, because I scout fighters all over the world. So I knew who Anthony Ivy was because I've scouted him. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny because a guy called Chris. What's Chris's name over there from Fury, Anthony? What's his name? Chris?
The fighter?
No. Well, yeah, he used to be a fighter, but he's like the match.
Lopez. Chris Lopez?
Chris Lopez is a friend and a former training partner of one of my other guys, Josh Wick. So I was trying to get Wick a fight, and then Chris mentioned Anthony Ivy to me, and I was, I know Anthony Ivy from Texas, right? He's like, yeah, how do you know? I said, man, because I know every fighter. I'm a student of the game. So I knew who Anthony Ivy was, and I asked Chris, I said, listen, man, my fighter is a champion at WXC. It would be great to do champion versus champion, Willis Black against Anthony Ivy in Fury FC. And they really liked the idea, but then I guess the owner, what's the owner's name, Anthony?
Eric Garcia.
Yeah, Eric Garcia liked the matchup, but he was like, yeah, I don't want to give Willis a fight because if he won, you know, guys come to Fury FC and they Fury FC, excuse me, and they win the title and they leave. And I said, did we lose Anthony? The owner of Fury didn't want to give Willis a shot because he said people have come there in the past, won the belt, and then left. So I suggested that he give us a 3-fight deal, and then if we did indeed fight Anthony and win, we'd run it right back with him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, no, let's come over there and do another fight first. And I said, no, if it's not against Anthony Ivy, I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? I'm only interested in high-level opponents right now. And if we can't fight Anthony Ivy, I'm not interested in coming to Fury because Luke Willis is already the champion at WXC. We'll just stay here and fight there. Well, that happened on, like, say, a Wednesday. The Wednesday after that, I show up to work, to my office, and I hear Jose, one of the new guys at First Round, saying that he signed Anthony Ivy. I said, what? Anthony Ivy? I said, are you serious? My fighter was supposed to fight him. We had negotiations going, and it fell through. That's awesome. But mind you, Anthony's not going to fight Willis at this point. He just said he signed Anthony Ivy. I was like, all right, great. Anthony Ivy's with us now. Another week goes by. We lose Willis's opponent, and the promoter of WXC calls Maurice Blanco, who's one of my colleagues at First Round, and asks him, hey, Maurice, do you have anybody 170 pounds that could fight Willis? And he said, hey, listen, man, we just signed this hot prospect from Texas called Anthony Ivy. Maurice calls me, and he's like, hey, Nick, what do you think about Willis fighting Anthony Ivy? I go, are you serious? I said, we were just supposed to fight Anthony Ivy. I said, send us the contract. Sign us up. Anthony has the identical record, the identical credentials. He's a big guy. He's a champion. He's a family man. He's a black man. It's like, I love this fight, bro. I love it. I was down for it, before it got presented to us here. And I just think it's a big time fight. And I think whoever wins this fight probably gets signed to the UFC, probably in October, November, or before the end of the year. The winner of this fight goes to the UFC.
Anthony, you look like you wanted to say something earlier. Go ahead. This is your floor.
It was just weird because the whole point of me fighting for Fury was to get back at the guy that I lost to in Bellator.
Okay.
Jason Lanninger. Okay. The whole point of me having the belt was always to get to him, and then we're gonna see what we're gonna travel from see what we was gonna do from there. So I was never aware of what was going on with the Willis manager or training partner saying right here. Okay. I wasn't even aware of that. The only thing I was aware of was Jason.
That's his manager. That's his manager.
Oh, my bad.
That's Nico.
Okay, so, your manager. So
I'm the big dog at First Round. I'm the.
But yeah, man, I was never aware of that. But the whole idea was for me to fight Jason, because Jason was the next guy that's supposed to be going to the Contender Series. They McMahon, the one that's actually running everything, the manager running for everything for Houston, was supposed to sign him. Jason was supposed to beat me, smoke me in the first round, whatever the hell the shit talking he was doing, and then I ended up smoking his ass, made him look like a fool for 2 rounds straight, and then nothing happened. And next, I ended up getting this management call. So this is another big reason why I'm taking this fight, because I say, well, maybe this could put a little more eyes on me to show my skill, because this guy here in Houston is not trying to help me out, but he's looking out for Jason. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So then, that's an interesting tier to add. And it kind of seems that way on paper, right? Because Anthony doesn't have any ill will to Willis. Willis doesn't have any ill will to Anthony. You're fighting each other, so that wasn't the issue. So it doesn't look like that was being made, relevant to you. As soon as you're able to make that contract, as soon as you're able to showcase your talent, you take the fight. So that's an interesting level of drama to have just for the scheme of things here. That's very interesting, and that's why I like having guys like Nico on sometimes, because you get a little background knowledge going on there. We'd have never known that if he hadn't had anything to say.
It's pretty ironic, the story. And I'm normally fighters for First Round. We don't fight each other, even on if it's not in the same gym, it's under the same management. But Anthony's new to the team, so I don't have any problem with Willis fighting him. I think this will be the first and only time they fight each other. If for any chance Anthony does win, we'll be running it back. That's guaranteed. I expect that Willis takes the W. But it's a fight, and anything can happen in a fight. And if Anthony wins, you better bet your ass, Anthony. We're asking you to run it back right away.
Hey, at least you'll run it back. I had so few opponents that won't run it back, man.
Hey, but that was good that you got that redemption fight, though, man. That's kind of like erasing one of the losses off your record.
Yeah, because when I fought him at Bellator, I suffered if you watch the fight, he ended up throwing me. And when he threw me, I ended up jacking up my shoulder, and I couldn't get up. So that cost me the whole entire fight. But I didn't go out there on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or none of that bullshit, talking all that crazy shit. It's like, oh, it's all right. I'll get him back at him. literally 4 years later, and I finally got him back, and it was totally different, way fucking different. So it was
Willis is kind of robbed of that opportunity because he had a similar opportunity where he had lost, and you had like a broken foot, you had like a bone sticking out of your foot or something in that fight. You went the distance, and then you ended up not getting that rematch later on, right?
Yeah. One of the guys that I had lost to a couple years back, one of my 2 losses, he was supposed to fight me this fight, and we got all the negotiations worked out, and then ripped it right off my feet. So
hold the fight.
That's just, I mean, I don't know what it was. I think honestly, he thought that he would have the same Willis he had, 2 years back, and he probably looked at the video and saw that I was something different now. But I mean, that's what it's about. It's about becoming different, making changes, evolving as a fighter. And bro, like, so much respect to you, bro. Like, listen, flat out, I think that this is a fucking perfect matchup for both of us, bro. Like,
I think so.
Beautiful matchup, and like, we 12 days out, and I'm just too anxious, bro. Like, let's do it.
Hey, bro. Hey, same here, man. I kind of had to like fight with my director, man, because I took a bunch of PTO time for my honeymoon. And he wasn't having it. He was like, "No, you just gonna have to fight later." I was like, "Nah, man, this is the fight. This is what I need. It's gonna help both our careers. Win or lose, it's gonna help both our careers, man. So like, let me have it. And he finally like, yeah, okay, you got the PTO. I was like, hell yeah. So I ended up calling Josh, let him know, hey, we're good. So this is gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good.
Nico, since you're here, I want to ask you a question as somebody who's our first round representative. Is this something that's typical? I haven't really heard of a lot of inside fighting amongst guys who are under the same company.
We try to not let our fighters fight each other. Sometimes in the UFC they do, like Ben Rothwell fought Andrei Arlovsky.
Right.
I can't think of all of them, but sometimes in the UFC you can't get away from that. But on the regional level, we try to not let our guys fight each other. And even in the UFC, like I had a guy, Sung Bin Jo, he had to fight one of the Tamor brothers in UFC Stockholm a couple months back. I think it was in May or June. Okay. So if we can stay away from that, we do. But you got to understand, there's about between 100 and 120 fighters signed to first-round management.
Right.
A lot of the top guys in the game are represented by us. You know all the names: John Jones, Woodley, Demetrius Johnson,
Colby.
This goes on.
Derek Lewis,
Joel Romero, the Pettis brothers, George Masvidal. The list goes on and on. So we try not to, but I love this fight.
I love
it. And I'm more than just a manager. I'm a coach as well. Mm-hmm. So I choose all of Willis's fights together with him. And I chose Anthony Ivy for this fight because I think Willis needs a really good test before he goes to the UFC, because the UFC is looking at Willis right now, and I'm sure they're looking at Anthony as well. Right. And the winner of this fight, like I told you, is definitely going to be one step closer to getting to the UFC. So I'm super excited.
Very excited.
I can't wait to see it.
I don't know if you got. Listen, I'll stay here for 3 hours if you let me do it. But I know everyone's got to do their own thing. Just for the closing words, just for the casual fan, or just for the fan of WXC, or just for the fan of Fury, or anybody, just fight fans in general. Why you should watch this fight? Two of the best athletes in their states, right? As far as that goes, maybe even on a national level, as far as welterweights goes, right? It's on a pretty big stage. This is going to be very accessible. Fight Pass is very easy to get a hold of. It's not hard to watch, this fight as far as that goes. We're talking about guys who go for finishes. Their paces are different. Their styles and how they get there, they're going to be different. But at the end of the day, both of them have 7 wins apiece, right? And they're recent. They fight often, right? And then it's got a level of drama there. It's an atypical matchup. The atypical matchup is these two guys are being represented by the same company. So all tiers, the intrigue is here for everybody. And if you're not into fighting, or you're on the fence about it, and you want to watch something exciting, this is the fight to make. This is the fight to watch.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I'll say this: both guys are being real humble and respectful.
Yeah,
and I like that. And I like. I just knew of Anthony and who he was as a fighter, but he seems like a super nice guy. He's a family man as a person, and we can't wait to.
We lost them again.
We lost them again. But anyway, we can't wait to have this fight. We've game planned already. We know where we think we're better than Anthony, and we're going for the finish September 25th.
Cool.
Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Silverback Black.
Let's see. I don't know if he's gonna come back or not. So let me read off his Instagram stuff real quick, so we have some of that going on there. It's gonna be on the video itself. It's gonna have their tags on there, but just for that extra hell of it, why not? It's gonna be Anthony Aquaman Ivy, ANTHONY AQUAMANIVY. So that's gonna be his @ on Instagram. 3-time welterweight champ. Well, everybody, thank you so much for finding the time. Catchweight interview. We're gonna have some more things on there. I'm trying to get Amber Kitchen on. She just finished up at one championship as her debut. She ended up not getting the win, but we're gonna try to set that up. She's down to go for that. Till then, thank you all. Have a great day. I can't wait for this fight, September 25th. Make sure you get your fight pass. 7-day free trial. If you don't want to, if you're broke, there's no excuse. Go get the 7-day free trial. It's out there. Let's get some eyes on these people. These are two wholesome individuals who are family men, who are exciting fighters, and most importantly, they help their communities as such. So thank you so much. Catchweight interview, y'all.